Now we're live. Oh, geez. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you and your patience. We had another issue with the computer tonight. Thank you so much to Justin from Bake More Pies for stepping in here and helping us out. The system totally froze up on us, and he saved the day again, because we had the same problem last week. But we're trying to resolve that, and I'm totally representing Bake More Pies today because I was doing a shoot earlier today. So thank you to Bake More Pies for giving us this opportunity to come to you. I am Todd T. Riley.
I'm Scott Johnston.
And I'm Dee Johnson.
And we are the Sound Effect. Of course, we can't forget our show producer, Doug Myers. Thank you so much, Doug, for being here and helping us out, man. Thanks for all the help that you do on this show. And I have to say, our special in-studio guest tonight is a triple threat. Singer, dancer, model, the lovely and talented Zai. Thank you so much for being here tonight, Zai.
Nice
Welcome
having you on the show.
Thank you. It means so much to me. I appreciate being here.
Awesome.
You are our first official female
I'm like,
interview.
yay!
Yes, absolutely.
So excited.
Absolutely.
So,
I was like, it's about time.
so coming up in a little bit, we'll be talking to Zai. We'll be talking to her about her music and find out what she's got going on.
We're also going to play some videos.
We'll definitely play some videos that she has for us. And don't forget to vote on our poll that we have. We'll be talking about that a little bit later in the show. But first, let's just jump right in. We're going to go to music and entertainment news.
So in This Week in History, February 11th was actually a very big day for the Beatles. Apparently it must be a Beatles day or something, because in 1962 the Beatles recorded Please Please Me. In 1963 they taped 10 tracks for their very first album. In 1964 their first live appearance in the United States in Washington, D.C. at the Coliseum. And John Lennon paid the fines of 96 protesting South African rugby team members playing in Scotland, which is a pretty cool thing to do. And also, February 15th.
Wasn't it like 26,000 or something he paid?
Yeah. I mean, in today's money, it works out to 26 grand. But, and February 15th, 2005, YouTube came to you. The internet site to which videos are shared and viewed by others, that was launched here in the United States. So, kind of a cool thing.
It is.
So we have birthdays.
We have some
Some of
birthdays.
these people were born this week. So we got February 11th, 1936, Burt Reynolds. Also Sheryl Crow, she turns 57.
Yes.
And Jennifer Aniston,
50.
big 5-0.
I don't care what anybody says. I think Brad Pitt made a huge mistake on that,
Yeah, he did.
because I think she's
February.
cat's meow.
The cat.
Yeah, right. February 12th, 1952, Michael McDonald, keyboardist and vocalist for the Doobie Brothers. He turned 67. Arsenio Hall, he turned 64. And the guitarist for Thin Lizzy and Motorhead, Brian David Robertson, turns 65 years old. February 13th, Mr. Jerry Springer, 75 years old. Very nice.
I believe he's 75.
Yeah, he's up there. Peter Gabriel, he turns 69. And then on the 14th, at Valentine's Day, we have Penn and Teller.
Teller of Penn and Teller.
Teller of Penn and Teller. Excuse me, you got to separate the two.
Actually, he
71
doesn't
years
speak,
old.
so don't say a word.
So if he were to tell you his birthday, you'd be like, and that's that.
Yeah.
Peter Gabriel, 69 years old. Well, what else we got here? You know what? Matt Groening, I hope I'm not pronouncing that wrong, on the 15th, cartoonist, the writer for The Simpsons, for Futurama. He turned 65. And, well, on the flip side of the coin, talking about a few people that passed, on February 11th, Sorrel Brook, that's a boss hog of the Dukes of Hazzard. He dies of cancer at age 64. Back in 2012, on the 11th, Whitney Houston dies, and she was only 48 years old.
Total tragedy in the music business, for sure.
Now, the 12th, we got James Cash Penney, that's the founder of J.C. Penney's, dies at age 95. Tom Landry, American football coach, actually for the Dallas Cowboys.
What are you pointing at me for? Your wife's the Cowboys fan.
Yeah, that's true. We know how that went up and down. He dies at age 75 on the 13th of February. And this goes with 1982. Zheng Jilian, I could be pronouncing that wrong. She's the tallest woman, 8 foot
That's crazy.
1 inch. Dies at age 17.
8 foot and an inch.
thing.
That's just
I know.
unreal.
Waylon Jennings dies of diabetic complications at age 64. And with that said, I think we're going to wrap on and move it up from there. We're going to move it up from there. So we got our next thing I want to talk to you about is current entertainment and music news. So we have the Recording Academy held the 61st annual Grammy Awards on Sunday. That was at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. It was hosted by Alicia Keys.
Did you watch it, Zai?
She's wonderful. She literally is such a staple for women because she refuses to just, go with society. Like, she's like, nope, I don't want to wear makeup anymore. Nope, I'm not about that. This is who I am.
Yeah.
She's
Very
phenomenal.
down
She's
to earth.
Fantastic musician, too. It's
She's
just
so wonderful.
awesome. Yeah,
I love it.
spectacular.
Have you guys seen the video that was like mixed up of her song, like New York?
No.
Oh my goodness. There's like a show that's out that's called Adventure Time. And
Okay.
Okay, do you know Adventure Time?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know how the dog, there's an adorable dog. Speaking of which, guys, there's a really cute dog here. Her name is Fire in the house. But she
raised the
races
paw.
the roof.
There's a roof on fire.
But yeah, in the show, he kind of goes making pancakes, making bacon pancakes. Gonna make some bacon, put 'em in a pancake. And so somebody remixed it with her song in New York. So it's like, in New York, making pancakes,
Oh,
making
awesome.
bacon pancakes.
That's cool.
It's really awesome. It went viral. Go check it out. It's really
I
fun.
have to check that out for sure.
So I mean, hosting, like I said, hosting the Grammys was Alicia Keys, and she actually dropped a new track, "Raise a Man." It's a piano-backed song, ode to good men.
It's about time.
Yeah, it's about time, right? So really, I mean, I know last year there were some people that complained about the Grammys being, too male-oriented, and I mean, I think they kind of made up for that with all the different things they did. I mean, even Michelle Obama made an appearance on the
Yeah.
show.
Yeah. Goodness,
No.
I love that woman.
So Yngwie Malmsteen's got a new album out, or coming out rather, called Blue Lightning. It's a new blues album, believe it or not, because he is known as the Shred King. If you've ever seen him play, you know what I'm talking about. Just phenomenal, classical mostly, but he was told by many, many people, said it as long as he could remember, that he's just noodling around on stage and he should do a blues album. And after years of saying no, he finally agreed and did it. Actually, I was always wondering that myself when I've seen him play, because as amazing as he is to watch and incredible as he is, this just lightning fast guitar player, I always found that after a while it seemed to sound the same just over and over, just just unreal.
Yeah,
And he did some Hendrix stuff once, and I was like, wow, I bet he'd really do some cool blues stuff. But people had asked him for years, and he didn't do it. But apparently, very early on in his life and career, he leaned away from the influences of guitar players and was very much into classical violin, and says that it's 99.99999% of his influences, and especially Paganini. So that's why he does all the classical stuff. So
And I mean,
he
you can
does
hear it
like
in
nobody's business.
his phrasing and all the different melodies that he does. I mean, a lot of it
It's
is
all
classical.
classical. It's all
I mean,
classical
a lot
music.
of it is.
Yeah.
But he also sang. He said he got the, what is it, New Wave microphones?
Neve.
Neve? I said it wrong.
Right.
Sorry, Neve.
So, former Fleetwood Mac guitarist Lindsey Buckingham underwent open heart surgery last week.
Yeah.
That's resulted in vocal cord damage, unfortunately.
Not good when you're a singer. Yeah.
Not good at all. I mean, and it's hard to say how long something like that you'll even,
Right.
snap back and bounce back from.
If at all, to be honest with you. Especially when you're older.
But I mean, last April is when the band said that she would not be joining them for the upcoming tour.
Lindsay's a he, by the way.
What's that?
Lindsey Buckingham's a he, by the way.
Hey, my mind's all over the road, and there's no road maps for
I
it.
get it, man. We got a female in presence, so you're thinking she.
Well,
It's not a common guy.
Well,
thing.
actually,
No,
that
it's
is
not.
something we'll be talking about later. Is that sometimes I go by the pronoun she. I'll explain more on that.
Fleetwood Mac is also, playing around Florida right now.
That's right. They're playing here real
I mean,
soon, aren't they?
Yeah, I believe that's it's either next week or in a couple weeks.
Right, right.
So that's you guys are going to want to check that out if you're in Florida, or just check it out. Go to her website and see where she's playing near you. Excuse me again.
It's
Not
understandable, man. Most guys are not named Lindsay.
so his vocal cords, are damaged, but it's hard to say if something like this is going to be permanent. But needless to say, all the touring and the shows that are currently scheduled are going to be paused for a moment just because of that.
Yeah, and speaking of going into the hospital, Ozzy Osbourne was rushed to intensive care amidst grave concern over his health. He's been really struggling with the flu, which turned into bronchitis, and they feared, contracting pneumonia, which in a person over 70 can be fatal. It absolutely can. Fortunately, Ozzy's son Jack said a few days ago that his health had improved, and a spokesman for Ozzy announced that after initial postponing the first dates of his No More Tours Tour 2 outing because of the flu, a follow-up visit with the doctor revealed a diagnosis of a severe upper respiratory infection, which resulted in the postponing of the tour's entire UK and European run, which has got to be a bummer.
Oh, yeah,
because those
absolutely.
tickets are not cheap. Hopefully he will still be playing here in June, because I've got tickets thanks to my friend Jason, and I'm going.
Nice.
So hopefully he'll be there. And
I heard he
I
was-
tell you what, if you haven't seen Ozzy and you want your chance, this definitely could be his No More Tours tour. It could finally be the last
Well,
one.
I heard
So
he was breathing on his own, so whatever.
Yeah,
However
that's
it was before that.
definitely a good thing.
And it's
So I
just-
highly recommend you get tickets and go to the show if you've never seen him and you
And
want
even
your
though it
chance.
says
You
no
might
more
not ever get it again.
No More Tours 2,
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to pull off a 3.
Yeah.
Not
I
to
don't
say
think
that
so.
he couldn't, but I mean, with
Af-
everything going on.
After this situation,
Yeah.
when he's canceling his entire UK and European tour and postponing it, that's a pretty big thing. He struggled with some dates and everything and canceled a few shows, and he's getting up there in years. Surprised after snorting ants and all that kind of stuff that he's even made it this far, to be honest with you.
Yeah, right?
I wish I had my picture of me and Ozzy in there for you guys to see. That would have been cool. It's a good one.
Back when you were with 98 Rock.
Yeah, that was cool. So let's check out the events and what's going on, and let's talk to our very lovely guest. So this past weekend, for the last 5 days, from Wednesday up till Sunday, the 2019 Florida Full Throttle Motorcycle Expo and Bike Builder Invitational happened at the new Burt's Barracuda Harley-Davidson on 49th Street, which is right across the street from the Quaker Steak and Lube in Pinellas Park. We want to thank everyone at Full Throttle, especially Les, Charlie, Tony, and Eric, and of course Bert of Bert's Barracuda, and Carol Hill of Carol Hill Productions as well, for the wonderful hospitality that they showed us. They were absolutely awesome. They really did us good, and we really greatly appreciate that. Also got a chance to meet Paul Sr. from West Coast Choppers.
West Coast
Is it
Choppers.
Orange County.
Yeah,
Orange County
County.
Choppers, yeah. He was pretty cool. So, we were there all 5 days, and we got interviews with Love and Revenge and Jasmine Kane, and my personal favorite, 12-year-old drummer sensation Jonathan rocks, and believe me, he
That kid's
rocks.
pretty cool.
He's a super cool kid and a really, really great drummer. And his parents are awesome in the way they support him and stuff, which is fantastic. I love those guys. We're going to have all those interviews here on the show. They're going to be coming up very soon as I have an opportunity to edit them and get them ready to go. So keep watching for that. Along with all that, our man Doug over here spoke with Steve Lynch, guitarist from Autograph. I personally spoke with Todd LaTorre, singer from Queensryche, my favorite band, as you know, and our friend JD Thunder. Thanks for watching, JD. He spoke to the guitarist from Candlebox, Peter Klett, for us, and we talked to all of them about coming on the show and being here in the studio with us, and they all agreed to do that. So as soon as we're able to work out dates and everything like that for those shows, we will let you know as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, we got some cool things in the works, and I mean, you know, what a funny event that was. I mean, just all around. I mean, it was awesome. It was a good time. You know, as far as
I had a blast. Yeah.
You know, as far as like concerts coming around here, I mean, Michael Bolton's been playing in Florida like every other day for the most
Seems
part.
like it.
You know,
and my friend Pam's super excited about Friday because she's got front row tickets.
Absolutely. Frankie Valli
loves Michael Bolton.
Playing on the 15th. Jackal, they'll be here. A Little River Band. We got Los Lobos stabbing westward over in Orlando.
Yeah.
You know, Fleetwood Mac, which I mentioned before, they're playing here on the 18th. Jeff Scott Soto with Panic Fire. That's on the 21st. Remember, he's playing with Gary Shutt, another guest that we have had on here, who's not only an awesome guitar player, but he's an awesome singer as well.
He's just an awesome guy.
Yeah. Tesla, awesome band. Saxon on the 23rd with War of Thrones at the Brass Mug. You know, you guys have seen us. We've actually had Wade on the show a couple times. You know, awesome guy. Awesome.
And Richard
votes.
Marks too, his bass player.
Yeah, absolutely. Them as well. When he was with Jericho Siren,
right.
He was on the show. You know, Beach Boys are playing at the end of the month, and I mean, as far as other things, you know, Queensryche's coming up in March. You know, obviously we met Todd at the show. Pink, who is in our show poll, you know, coming up a little bit later. Again, vote on it. You still got time. Pink against Christina Aguilera. Who do you think is better?
Yeah, and check out all those shows if you want to find out more about them. Just, you know, go to their websites. You'll find out where they're touring and when they're playing in a place near you. So let's move on to our guest.
Yeah, that's what we need to do.
We have with us tonight the very lovely Zai. Can't say that enough because she's very lovely. Singer, dancer, and model, American Idol and MTV's Copycat contestant. She's also sung for WWE and ESPN and Phillies and Yankees baseball games, as well as a slew of other things. And we're about ready to talk about all that. But to help introduce you to her, we have a video for you. And she's going to talk about herself a little bit here. So check it out.
It seems almost impossible for anyone to have survived over 6,000 falls. Even more unbelievable that someone comes back to Earth after their heart stops beating. But most people have never heard of PNES. PNES stands for Psychogenic Non-Epileptic Seizures, a seizure disorder that is over 3,000 years old, yet only 1 in 2,000 neurologists know how to diagnose. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I was a singer. Now, I'm singing for my life. This is how I became Zai. Became Zai.
Suddenly everything is different. Before I became Zai, I was known as Vonabelle. I experienced success as a dancer, model, and actress, but it's my passion for singing that gives my life meaning and purpose.
Well, I was afraid.
Suddenly, everything was different. I was in and out of the hospital over 40 times in just a 1.5 year span. My muscles atrophied and I wasn't able to move for months. Finally, after I had an average of over 100 seizures a day, my heart stopped. The mental, emotional, physical, and sexual abuse that I endured my entire life leading up into this point is what has caused my PNES, in my case, that has no cure or treatment. When I was diagnosed with PNES and told that I had about a 50-50% chance of having it for life, I was devastated. Not being sure how to cure or treat this illness, as there's nothing undocumented that shows it is proven to be completely dissipated. I was a nervous wreck. It wasn't until Florida regulated medical marijuana that I realized there was something I could take to help my life continue. Medical marijuana gave me the opportunity and ability to live. In fact, I went from having over 100 seizures a day to now having a couple every so often, especially if I forget to take my regulated dose. Calming not only my nerves and my thoughts, it takes away the pain that I experience after and during having a seizure. When you have every single muscle in your body contort into a new position simultaneously all at once, when you wake up, it feels like you've been hit by a train. Everything is missing and nothing is in the place that it once was, including your thoughts. Medical marijuana gets me away from all of that and takes me to a place where I can just be.
That's right, babes. I'm going back on air.
Hi guys, my name is Zai. That's Z-A-I. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm here at the event from 3 to 8 o'clock tonight, and I'm so excited because we've been able to sing and dance and have fun and get festive.
And there you have it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I was going to say a joke and I screwed it up, so. Welcome to the show, Zai. Thanks for being here. It's a real
living,
pleasure having
breathing
you.
miracle.
Absolutely. She is a living, breathing miracle. It's a pleasure having you here tonight. Thanks for making it out. So.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
So tell us about what we just saw here and what happened to you, will you? Let us.
Well, PNES is a kind of seizure disorder that is related to stress rather than an electrical impulse in the brain. So most people who think seizure, they think what I call flippy floppy. So a flippy floppy is a grand mal seizure. It's when you're flipping and a flopping everywhere. So basically, like whenever you're having these seizures, people think, oh, that's, you know, epilepsy. And so you think, okay, here's this drug and it regulates it and it's all good.
Sure.
But unfortunately, PNES is as different to epilepsy as cancer might be to diabetes. It's like giving somebody with cancer insulin or diabetes chemo. It doesn't make sense. It might look like it's the same issue in a sense, but it's actually a little bit different. And so what makes this different is it's only for happy people. Which is very interesting. When I got that in the diagnosis,
Definitely.
it's actually in the paperwork, and it's like only happy people can get this, which is like, what?
Yeah, right?
You think that might be because of a chemical in your brain from the happiness and stuff like that?
Endorphins.
So what happens
Endorphins,
is this,
yeah.
you're so close. It's so amazing. Thank you for thinking of that, because it is. It's a correlation between the brain and the body. So people who have PNES, they have like a highly developed sense of self, but what happens is the brain goes into protective mode. So what the seizures are ordinarily caused from are trauma. Now, many different people have different kinds of trauma. It can be something simple as a car accident, and then you're walking down the street a year later, and all of a sudden you smell burned rubber and you're like, whoa, and your brain automatically goes, I remember that memory, and kind of like PTSD, but unlike a flashback, it's like a seizure. So but the seizure's job and intent and purpose is to shut down the body. It's to kill the body, because the brain would rather be happy and not think about it than have a seizure. And so the only therapies that are known at the moment are things like medical marijuana, cognitive behavioral therapy, which people say that and they don't really understand what it means. What it means is talking it out, getting it out, and allowing it to be.
Yeah.
And that honestly stops seizures.
Is it really?
Wow.
So I mean,
It really
before medical marijuana, came to bat. I mean, what were you doing
I was
before
so
that?
screwed. Well, I died, and I came back because I was having over 100 seizures a day. All of the muscles in my body atrophied. I was I was like a living corpse because I would get bed sores. It was so painful. I'd be lucky to get out of the bed maybe 1 hour a day. If I was lucky. That's like a good day.
Gosh.
And I remember just like laying in that bed and being like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, what's happening to me? And the biggest part of that fear is the first question, because as humans we go, okay, give me a reason. Give me a reason. Well, it's stress-based and it's fear-based, right?
Right.
So having that question unanswered causes more seizures.
More stress
Oh,
and more
Right,
fear.
it's more stress and
And
fear,
to
right?
think that if I reduced to my life living like that, it's gotta be
Yes.
mortifying.
Exactly.
Oh my
Wouldn't
gosh.
that be like, I mean, imagine just like you keep falling. So for me, the reason why I have my PNES, and this is what I'm finally able to talk about, and this is something, again, like, this is, you know, like nobody talk about it, you know, aside from the show, like, don't spread it yet. But I've been working with Tampa Bay Times for the last year and a half, maybe more now. And we're getting my story out there. But part of my story is what makes my music. Well, actually, that's not true. All of my story is what makes my music.
Right. Yeah.
But with this, I wanted to raise awareness for PNES. And so that led me to the studio, which led to this album that I'm currently about to drop. And before I kind of go on into that, everybody has PNES from different reasons. Unfortunately, the biggest reason in the most recent research study conducted for PNES, Lorna Myers, she is the doctor, the specialist on PNES. They have invited me to the conference that they hold for doctors in New Jersey to perform this song.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
So Lorna has written the book on this disease. Now, remember, going back to that question, it's like, oh my goodness, what's happening to me? I don't know what's going on. Like, oh my God, like, what am I gonna do? When you're having that fear of being undiagnosed, it creates more seizures, which creates a harder existence to even be able to get to the doctors or find the knowledge, right?
Right.
So I was blessed because I had a couple of people who cared a little bit about me. You know, at that time, I didn't have a lot of people that were as wonderful to me as I do now. But I still had some people that were like, hey, we'll take you here or there, right?
Cool.
So I went to these places, and after many specialists and after 2 years of searching, so 2 years before I got diagnosed, there's only 3 doctors in all of Florida that actually can diagnose
crazy.
or know what this is.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. It's like the ALS before the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge
Sure.
happened.
Yeah.
You know
How
what
long
I mean?
did it take them to diagnose you?
It took them, so with the neurologist, I
I
would
mean, there was
say
a lot
in
of
span it was,
misdiagnosis, right?
I'm sure.
oh, actually, the misdiagnosis, now here's the craziest part. My first ever, I'm so glad you asked that question. I've never answered this one on camera or anything. This is so cool. Okay, first diagnosis I got was dehydration.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, I kid you not, like dehydration. So here I am thinking, I'll drink some water. and
Yeah,
I'll
but
be
I'll
okay, right?
Save everything, you know. It's gonna fix it. I'm just dehydrated. No
Just
big deal.
dehydrated. No, it's the brain dealing with something that it's like, oh my God, I need to talk about this, but I cannot because I just want to be happy. I don't want to think about that traumatic thing. But what happens is with PNES, it's through every sense. So it's through touch, it's through smell, it's through sight, it's literally through everything that you are. It's like we're talking about earlier. When you have something happen to you and then something reminds you of it.
Yeah.
But for me, my brain goes into protective mode. It goes, nope, like, peace out. Like, I am going to be happy till I die. Like, bye.
I don't want to think about it, so I'm doing this instead.
Exactly. It's literally like the brain going click on a computer. Imagine like the escape button. You're like, escape, escape, escape. Like don't think about it. Like I just got caught. Oh God, don't look at the screen.
Get out of my head.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So now going back to what we were talking about earlier, everybody's got a different reason for having PNES. Okay, and so it took me about 4 months to get diagnosed and completion from finding the specialist, which took 2 years.
Wow.
And like that, and
Wow.
then they had to schedule me, and then I had to sign a waiver when I was in the hospital saying that if they killed me, it was cool.
Oh my
Seriously?
gosh.
Yeah.
because we don't know what we're doing.
Is that because
so,
that's because they were
Well,
trying
no,
to
it's not
figure?
even like that.
Guinea
It's like they don't know what kind of seizure you have until they induce it, and you can die from a seizure.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
They do
I
these
had to go
tests to
through 3
induce
days.
you? Oh my God.
3 days of induced seizing.
That's
Didn't you
awful.
just
That
tell them,
was
just hold on, I'll have one in a moment?
Huh? Hold on, I'll figure this out. No, I mean honestly, it was just like
What did
it
you
was
have?
it was an intense experience, but I learned so much from it, and that's why I want to talk about it. Is because this negative thing, or what could be so negative, became my greatest positive.
Sure.
Right, you turned it
Genuinely,
around.
my greatest feeling of, whew, I live today. Not
Yeah,
today,
exactly.
Satan. Like, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
How old
empowers
were
me.
you though when you had your first one, and like where were you? Were you in a public place by yourself, or I thought it would be
I'm so glad you
terrifying.
asked. Now here's the thing. I didn't have seizures most of my life. I started having them when I was 19.
Oh,
Wow.
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 Out of nowhere. Bing!
Wow.
And my personal PNES, and this is something that I'm going to be talking about more in depth with the story being released through, again, Tampa Bay Times.
Right.
And it is something kind of difficult to talk about, but it's something that is so important to talk about because I believe that this will genuinely help people.
Yeah.
I have spoken to other people with PNES. I have a friend in Canada. Her name is Beth. And we had this conversation the other day, and we had so many similarities. And it was amazing because somebody else had my same life experiences.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, seriously, imagine calling your friend, like, hey, I'm going to meet this person. We're going to be friends. What up? And then you're like, you're in Canada. You're billions of miles away, or I'm sure. Okay, I'm a musician, not a mathematician, but I'm pretty sure it's a million miles. And I'm calling her.
Natasha could tell us.
Hey, it is. And to have her go, yes, my family did this. Yes, my family did that, or whatever it was that caused her experiences, and some of them were aligning with mine. It really empowered me because it made me recognize that what people like me go through is very real. And also for my friend Christine, she's in recovery. We call it recovery. It's just like, cancer, like if it goes into remission, but it could come back. So it's like you're good until your next seizure, kind of sort of deal.
Wow.
So once they figured out, what was happening, and once they finally gave you the proper diagnosis, when did you figure out what was the best treatment for that?
So this is the crazy part. I did not do that. I didn't discover the best treatment because my friends did. One day I was on the couch and I was preaching at my friends for smoking the devil's lettuce again. Like, listen, guys.
Peer pressure comes along.
Yeah, I'm like, guys, you've really gotta just stop. And one day I'm having a seizure. I'm having one of my flippy floppies. And for some reason, they decided, you know what? We are doing something about this. We're not listening to her anymore. We're taking initiative. And I'm so glad that they did. They blew hot smoke in my face. And within 30 seconds, my body calmed.
Wow.
Okay, so here's one thing.
And then when I woke up, well, this is very important too, because this is important for people who have seizures and how they continue to repeat. When I woke up, the pain from the seizure, it didn't hurt like it usually does.
Wow.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay? It changes everything. Like, I'm telling you, I go from feeling every muscle, because like right now, this knee is incredibly bruised. I have a misplaced meniscus in this leg. I have part of a missing spine in my back. Like, I have part of my bone is missing. I have all different kinds of things.
Wow.
I broke my rib. That's why I was out for the past 4 months. I fought off pneumonia. That's what I was doing.
That's what happened.
That's what
I
happened.
was wondering.
Because I had a broken rib from a seizure.
Wow.
And every time things like this happen, what do the doctors do? You're gonna die, Zai. And then what do I do? No, I'm not.
You get happy.
Exactly. And so it's the attitude, it's deciding, and also realizing what works for you. So I had this mentality of like anti-marijuana, anti-marijuana. And then what happened for me was whenever I started smoking, it took away my pain. I started eating a little bit more, which was great because I was bulimic. And then, which relates to something, due to my background, because like, my family is kind of annoyingly famous for their own things, but so everybody's got their stuff. But the whole toddlers and tiaras stuff, all that is real, like scale every day. But it helped me to eat, it helped me to sleep, it helped me to do all these things. And then it helped me in my therapy, because I would go to my therapist and I would have to talk about what I went through. And it used to be so clammed up, like I'm like just this all the time, just like, what's up guys, how's it going? Like that's it, like that's all I was, just a big smile. But even with that, there's a healthy balance.
Sure.
You know, if your child gets a boo-boo, okay, do you go, nah, suck it up, child? Like if their bone is showing, suck it up, kid. Like stick it back, kid.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's
Bloody
only
flesh wound.
It's only a
exactly. It's just a flesh wound.
That's all right. You got another arm.
So it's like that. You know, you don't ignore yourself or your mental health, and that's what's been so important. And that's what this album is actually primarily about. Is my first album was actually a relationship album and an LGBTQ album, and this album is about mental health and about accepting yourself and about having fun and just kind of being like. Whew.
Very cool.
Nice. So
The
this
only
is-
reason why, I wanted to just bring this up because it's current
Yeah.
news. It just so happens to be current news, as of today.
What?
Florida's been real slow on medical marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the big things that they're talking about right now
Mm-hmm.
is making it so you can smoke it. And
Yes.
they're not, at
And
this
a
point they
federal
don't like
law
it.
just got, a senator recently signed a bill that is a federal legal marijuana law for the whole of the U.S. So that is currently being passed through.
Taking
So
it
what
away
is
from the
it?
states.
What-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Smoking is bad, us being singers, it's not
Yeah.
good for my voice, but let's just ask this. What works for your case? What works better, eating it or smoking it?
Both. It just depends on what kind of pain I'm experiencing. So I don't always have a broken rib, but when I do, I get a little higher.
Sure.
I'll get a little higher.
I don't
Whereas-
always have a broken rib, but when I
Exactly. It's kind of but you know what? I'm so happy that I take that instead of something like Vicodin that would give me. Yes, and
you're
for
not
me,
addicted to certain
yes.
drugs.
Right,
pharmaceuticals.
Exactly, and it's not like I have to if I'm so for me, I'm allergic to so many drugs. I almost died 4 different times when and this is another reason why PNES has to be come on people, education.
Yeah.
People have almost killed me from overdosing me. The ambulance is
my goodness.
she's not waking up, give her Valium. Oh shoot, she's still not waking up, give her more Valium.
And you're allergic to
and they,
Valium?
I,
Right.
well,
Oh
it's
my
they
gosh.
gave me a triple dose. I don't know if you've seen me. I like to think I'm pretty big, but I'm big, but a little body can't handle
Yeah.
as much of the stuff. And so I woke up. I had so many issues. There's been other medications. There was one time. Okay, this is real life. This is a real thing that happened. I woke up drugged out of my mind. I did not know I was drugged out of my mind in the hospital because they took me in the ambulance. They put me up with drugs, all this stuff. They found me in a parking lot because I had a seizure in a parking lot. I got in an argument with my ex-boyfriend. I was like, I'm just going to drive home. And I knew, because I know, that's another thing, marijuana helps me to have awareness of my body. I knew, I'm
okay.
upset, I need to pull over, and that's why I'm very safe to drive. I never ever make a decision. It's like drinking. You don't drink all the time, you know what I mean?
Right.
You know when you're safe to drive. I know when I'm safe to drive. So I knew something was wrong. I pulled over. I'm like, oh my goodness, okay. Something's gonna happen. I called him up. I said, hey, I need your help, and that's where my memory stops.
Wow.
I woke up in a hospital, and with him, or actually no, the ambulance, I remember seeing him and his Uber driver as they were whisking me on that gurney thingy, and yeah. So that being said, I did not know that they drugged me, but you know what they drugged me with? Because they couldn't figure out why I wasn't stopping seizing. They thought it was a heroin seizure.
Oh,
No,
man.
geez.
Now understand, look at my arms, okay? I'm a little pasty right now, so don't judge. But I don't know about you. I don't look like I do heroin.
No.
do I?
Right.
I don't feel like I
Because
look
you were
like
so
I
thin, probably from
Right.
I think.
Well,
the seizures, they thought that maybe.
They just thought girl alone in a parking lot,
Right.
Wow.
passed out on the floor, foaming at the mouth,
Oh my goodness.
with blue hair. That's all they thought.
Wow.
No,
The
That's
darn
awful.
blue hair,
Just
man. I'm
judge
telling
you.
you.
Man, I just want to be a mermaid all the time. People got to go judging shit off. It's just crazy. Sure. They don't need to know, right? But that's what I'm saying is like that happened because of lack of awareness. Because they went, epilepsy,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick. The Valium's not working, boss.
Is that what they give you for epilepsy? That's
Valium,
what I was wondering.
Ativan, benzos. I mean, they will
Wow.
pump you full. I mean, seriously.
And all those you
it's
can
ungodly.
overdose from, and
Yes.
marijuana, which
Yes.
you can't.
Yes.
You're like, thank
Thank
you.
Never,
you.
there's
I'm just like,
never
I'm like,
been a
preach,
report of
like-
anybody ever dying from
No.
marijuana.
No.
We can keep on
You
going
know what
on and on and
happens
on
if
about
I get
this,
really
'cause
high?
People drink themselves
I
to
might
death.
end
Oh,
up
of
eating
course.
cookies that aren't vegan, but don't tell anybody. But that's like, you know what I mean? That's like if I get really high, okay?
Are these cookies made from real Girl Scouts?
Yes.
They are.
Oh my God, I love Wednesday. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying is like, this needs to be a thing. There is a little girl who died a couple of months ago, and she was 12, and she died in her bathtub. Now understand, I understand the mother was mourning. I understand the little girl was 12. The reason that she had seizures because her dad just died.
Oh, wow.
The trauma
out.
from the dad dying caused seizures, so she died, so now the mother is alone.
Right.
Okay, this is a real, like, you can go look this up with the little girl with PNS. And this little girl drowned in her bathtub, and I'm not blaming the mom. But that being said, most parents, if they knew trauma, don't let a child, a 12-year-old, in a bathroom with a bathtub alone and don't check on them.
Sure.
She had a seizure, she died in the bathtub. You can die in 2 inches of water, guys.
Right,
That's all
right.
it takes. So this awareness, this is what saves lives. This ability to be able to talk about it, this is what saves lives. There's another girl, she's in the UK, her bones are crumbling.
Oh, wow.
She's had so many seizures. Other disorders develop as well because it's all linked to trauma, okay? It's all linked to trauma. So these are already people who have been traumatized, and then their body continues to traumatize them rather than have to deal with the issues because it was that bad.
Wow.
So this girl, she's 27, and she's losing all of her bones. They are crumbling. She is dying within her
my
body
God.
because of
Like her
PNS.
body's attacking
Wow.
herself.
Never heard about it until you, honestly.
And there's so many people in this area.
Right.
There really is. I mean, it's incredible. I met somebody today at my work who has PNES. I was like, what up? I was like, what's up, homie? Like, it was really good.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm
Relatable.
saying. It takes knowledge to fight anything. You can't fight an invisible enemy. You have to know what it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if your enemy is your past, especially, I mean, think about how many PTSD, people
Sure.
from so many situations. I mean, but think about, veterans and the awareness of fireworks and things like that. Like, we know these things because of education.
Right.
So that's what this song is about. The other reason why it's important is this song is also about people faking. And the reason why I say this is because stigma, people see a person with a seizure, they go, it's epilepsy, they throw them in the hospital. The hospital is not equipped with the technology and the know-how. They don't know how to diagnose it. So you see, the person is really seizing and is really dying. And the doctors treat them like crap because they think that they're a mental crazy person coming to ruin their day.
Jeez.
Right. That's
This
crazy.
is really happening.
Wow.
And so
It's a shame.
it is a shame.
What are
And
the
so
the numbers on it? It's very rare, right?
it's actually not all that rare. You see
is it?
50,000 people, so that's a large amount. Just in the U.S., in the year alone are diagnosed every year, 50,000. But here's the
Wow.
thing. Here's the thing. That might even sound small. Okay, that's like 50,000. That's still not much. But here's the problem with that.
that's a lot.
25% of all epilepsy is a misdiagnosis.
Oh, geez.
So they're getting medication and still
Sounds
having
like it.
seizures
Yeah, it sounds like
because
it.
it's PNES.
Because people would think it's something else, misdiagnosis. Wow.
So there is a way bigger number than 50,000. 50,000, and that's only the people who are diagnosed. Most people, because they don't get diagnosed because there's not enough people, they just die. That's why there's not a lot of people talking about it. It's because they're dead.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you say life experience and
Yeah.
things like this are what helps you motivate you for writing songs and this and that. With that said, I mean, how'd you get into music? I mean, when did you start playing? I mean, tell us more about how you got going in music.
Wow. Well, this is a subject I truly love. So when I tell you I love music, it's not like, okay, how do I describe this?
I feel like English is limited. The word love is not good enough. It's just not. You know, aisuru maybe from Japanese. It's like the highest, most regarded form of love. It's like the biggest compliment. Like married couples will go their whole lives and never say aisuru. I aisuru music. Okay, like I'm very in love with music. And one of the biggest reasons is I actually started singing before I could speak. So I have a bunch of baby books and stuff where, you know, things were recorded and put down. And my Danish au pair taught me to sing in her language growing up before I spoke in English. Oh, wow. So I was singing, and then like they would come and find me in the crib, and like they'd be playing like music, and I wouldn't be down in my nap, I'd be bouncing in the crib.
I can see that.
Yeah, just like, I'm like, let me out, guys. I'm not tired. I just got out of the womb. Let's party.
I just want to sing.
I'm coming up. So yeah, so basically what happened was this: like my whole life, my upbringing, I was never really allowed to express emotion in my home. So going back to that PNES and how that developed, I was not able to. So the place where I could express my emotion was on stage,
right,
in front of cameras.
Cool.
Because when I was on camera, my mother acted very differently.
Really?
Oh yeah. So if I messed up at home, that would result in something. Right. If I messed up out in public and it's on camera, she can't do anything. She can't touch me because then she's recorded.
Right.
You're like, I'm in my bubble.
Exactly. So I'd be like on camera, like woohoo, you know, having a grand old time.
Like I'm gonna push this a little farther.
Yeah. Like, hey, mom.
Too bad, you know,
like,
yeah, Mom, we're about to live stream on YouTube here. You don't want to say that, do you? No.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is like with that, like my emotion, where that came from. Like, okay, I was all bottled, right? Like I couldn't express, but then when I came out, so music became my actual therapy.
Yeah, your release.
Yeah.
Yes,
Right.
and that
Beautiful.
also helps my PNES.
Yeah.
Because I have almost no seizures when it comes to singing.
Wow.
That's awesome.
It is so minimal. If I'm singing and doing what I love, and if my brain is happy, I'm good.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So singing is like part of it. Like my therapies are like, again, medical marijuana, music, cognitive behavioral therapy, and also my service puppy. So those things kind of keep me going, and music is by far, just the most amazing way to communicate how I really feel too. Because I'm always happy, and I'm like, hi guys, and like my music is like very like in your face.
Right.
Like it's like, wait, what? Like I've been following this girl for years. Like what? Like who is this person? It's very, very real. It's very close to home. And this project, this album, again, like the PNES song, like that's going to be coming out. There's another song on that as well, and I'll talk about that in a little bit because that's like kind of fun. But there's like 3 songs that are just like I have like one that's Lana Del Rey. It sounds like her, and it's just like it's got that like kind of grungy feel. It's very exciting, but yeah.
So you were handed a scholarship at 7 years old, right, from Ruth Eckerd Hall?
I was.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually toured the Vinoy at first. That's like one of my first things. And when I'm a kid, okay, understand, I didn't know. I was like, Mom, why do I have to not sleep over somebody's house? I know I have to get up early, you know, like, oh my goodness kind of deal. But I didn't realize how cool the opportunity was. I got to be older and I'm like, wait a minute. I had a scholarship at Ruth Eckerd Hall?
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? It's such a blessing because when you're a kid, you don't really realize, I think, like the blessings that you have and the things that you go through.
Yeah.
So, like with my whole family, my whole background, like I never realized, like one of my first jobs was working for Home Shopping Network. And
Cool. I worked there a couple
you
years.
did? No
Sure
way.
did.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Control room, did audio and cameras.
Do you know? Well, I'll talk to you about that later. Actually, I'm like, there's so much that I could talk about.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, I never realized, you know, until I got older, and I went, oh my goodness, like, and I wanted to put that to good use. I wanted to make my music again, take those negatives, put them into positives, and teach people how to do that along the way. And by being vulnerable and open about my life and what I've been through and being real in every moment, I'm hoping that will inspire other people to do the same because it saved my life.
Sure. So the modeling, I mean the
Yeah.
the music led into the modeling and the dancing.
Well, actually, funny story that. So modeling was entirely separate. So my biological mom, I call her my life giver because she gave me life.
Right.
So, but that's like more or less the extent of it. So she was 19, I think it's 86. Yeah, 1986, Miss America, New York.
Oh, wow.
Really?
Yeah, she
Wow.
was the pageant mom of the century.
Nice.
And so, yeah, so it was interesting growing up because I grew up in a background where, like, I was always around celebrities. I was always around, like, all these different people, but
Yeah,
I
you
just
would in
didn't
that
know.
situation for sure.
Yeah, I just had no idea, like, at all. Like, I grew
It's
up
just
and I was like,
commonplace.
oh,
For
yeah,
you, yeah.
exactly. Like, I didn't even realize, like, because I didn't really talk about that as much because I realized as a kid, like, I would talk about my friends, like, I'd tell them, like, what we were doing or, like, my brothers and stuff, and they'd be like, oh, I want to meet your brothers. Like, oh, I'm like, you're just hanging out with me for my family. Like, you don't want to go play checkers with me? Like, I'm like, let's go play checkers.
Are you of Greek descent? People ask that. Are you Greek
Am I Greek?
because of your name?
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. So, I can't say too much because it's going to be coming out again in Tampa Bay Times. But Zai Gyros is actually another name of mine.
Oh, okay.
I've had many identities in my lifetime.
Bonnabelle being one of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
Bonnabelle was definitely a prominent one. I definitely stayed Bonnabelle for a while. But I've actually had many different identities because, like, I'm a Russian Jew. I'm actually
okay.
from Long Island, and so, like, my heritage, like, okay, I've never done this on camera, but if I originally speak the way that I originally speak, I'm speaking more like this. But then I had to learn to speak like different way because people are more accepting of people who are white and people who are funny, like
Nostrovia.
white chick, yes. So, but then over years and years and years, because my parents, they'd be like, don't talk like that. Like,
I
learned
love
how to
You
that.
talk
had
like
to
this.
change it. That's awesome.
So what
would
kind
be
of
a good
music
actor.
were you listening to, you know, growing up, you know, in early ages and whatnot? What kind of music were you listening to?
Love me a Slavic woman.
We got you. But yeah, so I listen honestly to everything, but my favorite genres are the things I listen to. I had a very dark childhood, 100%, like, but it was very light on the surface. So I had, like, all this good going on, and so as a little kid, I would, like, sneak off into my room, and I would, like, listen to this music, and I wasn't even, like, supposed to listen to some of this music because it was considered, like, ungodly. Like, do not listen
I
to
know
this.
that.
Been there.
Yeah, okay, all right, you got it. So it's like, this is the devil's music.
Zai can relate.
Zai can relate. Oh, coined that. I like that. So I liked, like, well, actually, Copeland was one of my absolute favorites. They helped me so much through so many things. Like, their songs, Pin Your Wings Down, or Sleep. Sleep actually was my sexual awakening song for sure. Like, I don't know what it is about that song, or like, No One Really Wins This Time. I really love that song because I would constantly be in this state where I never, like, got to win until I got older. When I got older and I was able to leave, then I changed my life around. But I would listen to those lyrics and it made me feel less alone. I was like, wow, like,
Cool.
yeah.
It's wonderful how music does that too.
Yeah,
right?
music
Yeah.
makes me feel like I can be connected, and that's, like, what I want to be for people, you know?
Yeah.
And so I love that. I
Universal
love,
language.
yes, it is.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
And Flyleaf. Like, I actually had my first ever real band, like my real band. I was 13, and it was a metal band.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
So, thanks. I also really love Paramore. Paramore got me through my angsty teenage years.
Love Peanut. Paramore's great.
Yeah, they're awesome. I could go on and on. There's so many different artists, from Pink to Jessie J. Jessie J means so much to me.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
I was going
Oh
to
my
say you have
God.
a similar style
Oh,
of
thank
singing.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I actually do. That's what I was on the show for. Copycat, when I went on MTV.
Okay.
I auditioned as Jessie J because I can mimic her voice.
Ah, cool.
I was noticing,
So-
like,
I
what
was
does
gonna
she
ask you
sound
about
like?
that,
I think
so.
it's Jessie J.
So much pressure. Why so loud? If you don't like my sound, you can turn me down. I've got a roll, and I want you to know. Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
see, I just got
Very
chills,
nice.
I
man.
know. I know.
I love it. If you ever want me to sing a Jessie J tune, like, her song "Nobody's Perfect" is my favorite in the world. Have you guys ever heard it?
Yeah,
I believe I have. Yeah, I got a couple of her albums. So.
Do you know like the acoustic version? Have you ever heard her acoustic?
Not sure if
It
I
is
have or
incredible.
not. It's a good
The runs
possibility
that she
that I have.
does.
So
I'm so tempted to sing it now. It's just
Go
like
for it.
in my really.
we won't hold you
my
back.
God. Oh my God! I've got to show you because I'm super obsessed. I'm not gonna lie. She's become such an inspiration because did you know that when she was 18, she had a heart issue and she almost died?
No.
And
I
she
was
has
not aware of that.
Yep, and she does. She has a congenital like heart issue that she sings with. She broke her leg on tour once. She continued the tour in a cast. I love her.
That's
so
awesome.
much.
Yeah, that's cool. A lot of people be bailing.
Mm-hmm.
Although
She
I've seen
donated her
somebody with that
purse.
problem before sitting on a stool while they're doing their show.
Yeah, exactly. And
you-
also, like, she, what was the other thing? Donated her hair for that, like, because there was
Killer.
a girl who, like, had cancer, so she shaved her head, like,
wow.
I
in
did
front
that
of
when I
everybody.
cut my hair.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
Twice, actually.
Yeah.
Brother.
I love it.
It's true. My hair was down to here. I
Right?
just
Well,
chopped
you
guys know what a
donated
good
it?
thing
Oh,
donated it,
is. You
yeah.
guys know
Yeah, I
how
donated
wonderful
it.
I
it
wasn't
is to
thinking
do
like
that,
that,
you
sorry.
know? Okay, so this is Nobody's Perfect by Jessie J.
Kill it, girl.
All right.
I know you will.
Thank you.
When I'm nervous, I have this thing, yeah, I talk too much. Sometimes I just can't shut the hell up. It's like I need to tell someone, anyone who'll listen, and that's where I seem to mess up. Yeah, I forget about the consequences. For a minute there I lose my senses, and in the heat of the moment, my mouth stops going, the words start going, oh. But I never meant to hurt you. I guess it's time that I learn to treat the people I love like I wanna be loved. This is a lesson learned, and I hate that I let you down, and I feel so bad about it. I guess karma comes back around, because now I'm the one that's hurting, yes. And I hate that I made you think that the trust we had is broken. So don't tell me you can't forgive me, because nobody's perfect. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Yeah. If I could turn back the hands of time, I swear I never would have crossed that line, nor would have kept it between us. And no, I went and told the whole world how I'm feeling, and so I sit and I realize, with these tears coming from my eyes, I gotta change if I wanna keep you forever, and I promise that I'm gonna try. But I never meant to hurt you. I know it's time that I learn to treat the people I love like I wanna be loved. This is a lesson learned, and I hate that I let you down, and I feel so bad about it. I guess karma comes back around, because now I'm the one that's hurting, yes. And I hate that I made you think that the trust we had is broken. So don't tell me you can't forgive me, because nobody's perfect. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Nobody's perfect. No.
Dang, girl.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome.
So
All
the
kinds of
acapella, I'm
chills,
like
man.
crying here.
For you guys out watching out there, I mean,
Oh my
you know,
gosh.
it's, whether it's future guests or past guests,
Wow.
there's somebody singing a cappella.
I
There's
know.
no pitch correction, which is, you know, one of the things I
I'm
hate
like,
to
oh
hear
my
so
God.
much.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh my gosh,
That
thank you.
is
Wow.
awesome. Very cool.
Spectacular. Girl.
You know, with that said, everybody that's watching right now, if you have any questions for Zai, type them in the chat so Dee can see, and we can ask her directly right now live.
I knew I should have set up the other mic for you, girl. I knew it.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
No, not afraid to sing, not afraid to do it on the spot. That's very cool. You should hear all the different excuses that people use.
Well, Paul,
I
I had a comment from someone. Paul said, "Intense, marvelous, no stage fright in the slightest, great execution." I think he said execution. Bravo.
Autocorrect is a thing. Thank you.
Oh, that was awesome.
Yeah, Steve
I'm like still sitting
Wilner
there,
also
like,
said a true talent, voice of an angel, and inspirational story as well.
yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. You go, girl.
That was
Rock.
awesome.
That was
Great.
spectacular, actually.
So I mean, you've
That's
been
the whole
playing a
reason
long
I
time.
invited you on the show.
You're like, I knew I invited you for a reason.
No, I wanted you to share your story too, though, because I mean,
Yeah.
I've followed you for a while. You know, we've been
Thank
friends on
you.
Facebook for a while.
I
Finally got to meet tonight for the first time,
that's
which
so
is awesome.
awesome.
But yeah, I've been aware of you for quite some time and,
Thank you.
and stuff, and
I really
just really impressed with your attitude.
Exactly.
The way you carry yourself, and with all the tragic stuff that you've gone through, that you keep such a wonderful spirit about you. That's just
When you don't give up,
fantastic.
like you're so inspirational. Like everybody has their moments where like we start feeling sorry for ourselves and we can't do things and we just get in a depressed slump or something, and then you're like, look what all I've been through, and I'm still hanging in there, and I'm like, you know, like I need that right now. I do. I'm saying it. I do.
We can all use that at some
I know, we all
time or
need a
another
kick
in our
in the
life,
ass.
really. Yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
that's what I think people, you know, this
Yeah.
is going to help, because my eventual project, I want to use cognitive behavioral therapy on a 528 megahertz, and I want to create a music that can cure depression and reverse PTSD.
Oh, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Very
That
nice.
would
I wanna
be
use dogs as
spectacular.
study groups.
Yeah, that's so cool. So cool.
That's awesome.
So I mean, with you, you know, playing as long as you have and singing as long as you have, you know, I'm sure you've had a lot of different gigs, you know, a lot of different variety of gigs.
Oh, so much.
So I'm going to ask you, out of all the gigs that you've done, is there any particular one that stands out that's your favorite?
Oh yeah, I got a couple. like, I got this one. Okay, so there's a lot of things that I've done that I've really enjoyed. But one of the most enjoyable things is I actually sang at a plastic surgery office,
Oh, wow.
right? Kind of like, okay, grand opening. And I sang there, and they go, "Hey, Zai, we want to thank you." I said, "Thank me? Well, I've already been fed, and I've already been paid. I feel pretty thanked. I feel pretty grateful, too." You know?
Yeah, right?
And they go, "How would you like 2 tickets to the Grammys?"
Oh,
Wow.
Nice.
At a plastic surgeon's office. Go figure,
I
right?
know, that's what I was saying. I was like, okay.
Yeah, what are you going to do to me?
Right?
I want a prize.
So
What
my
do you
brother
do?
has been an actor in LA for a long time. So what did I
Really?
do?
Awesome.
I'm like, yo, I'm gonna crash with you in Hollywood Hills. And we're gonna go to this thing and we're gonna do it right. So of course I wore Converse with my dress, and all the girls looked at me like, ew, she's wearing Converse at the Grammys. Until about 4 hours later, and all of them were like rubbing their feet. They're like,
Yeah.
Right,
"Ah," and I'm looking over, and all of a sudden their looks change. Like, no, my shoes started looking pretty good to them.
They're over there dancing. Yeah, I still
Right.
feel good.
No, these girls couldn't even fake. They were looking at me with pure envy. They're like, "We're sorry."
Yeah, I bet. That's
So,
great.
but yeah, bright pink dress, Converse, black and white, and like bluer hair than I think I've ever had. I wanted to be seen. I wanted to know. I was like, I am there. Look at me. There's my
Who
hair.
is this girl?
Exactly, right? Yeah.
Turn
And
your head.
it was amazing. It was so amazing. I had the blast. Remember how Adele had a little issue and then she had to like correct it on stage? So I got to literally, I'm not kidding, she was right here, I'm right here,
wow.
and we got to talk. And I was like, "Honey, you did okay." And she's like crying. She's like, "No, I'm sorry. I'm so
my
sorry."
God.
And we're all like, "No,
during that
sweetie,
moment?
you're fine." Yeah.
Wow,
Oh
that's
yeah. I was
awesome.
in the mosh pit.
Wow.
I was on the stage. You know the stages that caught Lady Gaga and that like
Yeah.
Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there. I got to tell Laverne Cox that she looked beautiful. It was a dream come true. I was so happy. J-Lo I'd already met like several times, so I was like, But I was so excited. And next, Skrillex and I were making faces at each other. He was like, and I was like doing all this thing, and then it was the whole thing. And then like, it was amazing. Oh, Rihanna though, we got to talk about that girl's attitude. But the whole thing. So that's probably one of the coolest gigs. But honestly, like, I loved getting to sing in front of about 30,000 people for the Yankees. That was really cool.
Yeah,
that
that's
was some
awesome.
energy.
Right,
I was like, and I was younger back then too. I'm like, I just found out from my manager.
Talk about pressure, huh?
Oh no, it was more like I didn't realize this many people were here.
Right.
I was like really happy to do it.
Like, just bring it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird when I'm on stage. It's not. I mean, sometimes I get nervous, but it's really not. It's like I don't get nervous about like usually the singing part unless I'm like deathly ill. It's more like I tend to forget like how cool it is like in that moment because I'm just like I get to sing. I get really excited about the singing part. And so for me, walking out on that stadium field and looking around, I was like, oh, I agreed to this gig. And all these people are here. You know what I mean?
That's cool.
So that was really cool.
We have a
for
question. Paul also asked, who do you idolize and look up to now, and what do you think of Amy Winehouse and Lady Gaga, of course?
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy we're talking about this. This is so fantastic. Okay, so I love it. Also, you're an amazing human being. So first of all, Lady Gaga, I watched her documentary this morning. That's how I got pumped for this morning, and that's how I started manifesting this morning, is because I'm like looking at her and I'm like, yo, gonna happen. So there's that. And the reason why I also am very excited about Lady Gaga in specific, so the man who discovered Lady Gaga, her ex-boyfriend, who's a producer and an engineer, all that lovely good stuff. So he's a friend of my family's, like my family. So basically, like, when this album drops, we're sending it over there, and I'm fingers crossed. I'm like, please. Nice. So we've got that, and then let's see. He said Lady Gaga and, sorry, what did he just say too? He said,
Amy Winehouse.
Amy Winehouse, that's right. Oh my goodness, I love that girl. She's amazing. She's Jewish. Also, watch her documentary. She's amazing. I just really wish that she had realized her worth more, because she deserved to live longer. She had some great songs in her, and I really feel like we would have clicked. And I've met so many other, like, artists. Like, I've met Selena Gomez, I've met all these people, like, I've met Carrie Underwood.
She
She's
has
super
a story, Selena Gomez, with her,
she
hit her kidney.
Yes, but I'm still mad at her, because she told me she was going to like my Facebook, and she lied. Sorry, I'm good. I was like, really? Like, why wouldn't you just say, like, I'm sorry, my manager said I can't do that. Don't lie to me, girl. We're friends. We're cool. Like,
maybe after she watches you on her show, she might finally do that for you.
There you go.
Sorry.
The beauty is, those of you who never heard of her, just remember where you heard her first. When she blows up, right? So you've also had training experience in jazz, blues, opera, classical, pop, rock, and R&B.
Yep.
That's spectacular.
And
what
getting to rap has been a lot of fun recently.
Diverse style. That's really cool. I've noticed that in a lot of your stuff too. So maybe not the rock as much, but I've definitely noticed the other ones.
I'm going to be bringing rock back in. At my brother's memorial the other day, I actually sang the Cranberries, and I sang David Bowie, and I sang, so I definitely am going to be going back to those roots, because I grew up from those roots.
Yeah.
So, but I also have like some unusual twists for it too, like even for some like metal bands, I've come up with like a melodic version of some of their tunes.
Nice.
I'm excited for, like, there's one that I really want to get done.
Oh, neat. I like that, like, diversity and changing it up a level.
Thank you. Well, and that's what's so exciting about this album. It's a new genre of music. It's going to be called positive pop.
Positive pop.
Positive
Very
pop.
cool.
like it.
Very cool. Really looking forward to that.
poppin'.
And this is your second album?
Yes, this is my second EP album. The first EP album was with DJ Hurley, and it was called On the Rise, Sunshine, Why So Blue?
Yeah.
And so
Love that.
it's me in a hot air balloon. I had planned that album cover from the time that I was 14 in a hot air balloon, so that made me really happy, because my dream came true.
Oh.
But yeah, that album is a little mixture. There is a rock song on that one. I Fell in Love is on that. That's a rock song. There's an EDM song. It's kind of a jazzier, bluesy song, and then there's an acoustic guitar song. So that was kind of like me trying to find my sound, and then realizing that I'm just a me, and I had to develop my own sound because I have a whole brand that just it's new. Like it's like all this stuff. Like here's something entirely new.
Well, we're gonna play one of your videos off of that very soon.
Oh, off of the original album?
Sunshine.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
So I mean, do you have any gigs that you really didn't care for? I mean, you would call your least favorite?
I would be lying, and I'm not a liar, so but I don't want to tell you, but I will.
You don't have to name the
That's
venue.
Yeah, you don't have to name the venue and
Yeah,
throw
I
them under
won't
the bus or
say.
anything.
Okay, I
but,
won't say that. Okay, there's a couple of gigs that made me really sad. There are a couple of gigs that were really hard too. Like I've had drama with like ex-managers trying to get me back and stuff and trying to screw me, and like I had a manager like send one of their bloodhounds out and make me cry at a gig, so that was kind of crappy. But if I was gonna say like the gig that immediately stuck out in my mind was I did this gig because my singing teacher told me I should go do it, and I made $1. And
Oh
I was
my
really
goodness.
$1.
Wow.
Hey, at least you
4
got
hours
paid.
in the hot sun. No, I didn't get paid.
You made
That
a buck.
I made, yeah, that's true. But here's when I knew I was a professional. Okay, this is how it counters because
see,
I was
now
feeling
that's
sad, right?
disappointing. Right.
Here's when I knew I was a professional. People say, "Oh, are you a professional? Like, because you get paid?" It's like, no, that's not professional. Like, a Yahoo can go get paid at a gig if they try hard enough.
Right.
What's a professional? One day, I was singing on Clearwater Beach, and I was being paid and I had tips and stuff. But that's not what made it professional. A homeless man came off the street and gave me a tip. And that's when I knew I was a professional.
Yeah, right.
I'm like, the homeless guy just tipped me. I must be doing okay.
Yeah. Must be doing something right.
Right, yeah. Oh, my
Wow.
goodness.
Yeah, I knew as a musician, I was always like, if I get paid, bonus. Yeah.
Right? That's
How many
right.
gigs you play where you're not getting anything? Just love of music.
That's like you're going to pay me
That's
$1.
the beginning.
You just keep it. I think you need this more than I do.
Right.
Well, that was I was 15, I think, 15, 16. And it was one of my very first, like, going out after American Idol gigs that I was trying with my singing teacher back then. Now, that ain't happening.
It's really kind of,
That is not happening.
it's more kind of
Unless
an
if I'm giving it
insult
away.
if they're just handing you a buck. Than
Oh my God.
you know.
I just realized I didn't tell you the best experience. I thought I did. I just had another one pop in my head. This is actually, on a different level, way cooler.
Being on the sound effect.
Hey. Actually, it's when I went to St. Joseph's Hospital and I had the opportunity to not only put on a concert for them, but then my gala, A Week to Remember gala, is now a part of their program at the hospital.
Oh.
St. Joseph's now sponsors it because we
cool.
started it.
That's
Wow.
fantastic.
Terminal
That's nice.
children to have fun at a
Congrats
camp.
on that. That's awesome.
So
That's
thank
so cool.
you. Well, like when I was standing on stage being a very loose word here, this was like underneath the TV in the lobby of the hospital, but a little girl with 2 broken legs and a condition for sound, like she had headphones on. So she had headphones on, her fingers were in her ears like that. Her name was Kenna, and she had these like braces on her legs. And when that little girl came up, when I said, does anybody want to come dance with me? And that little girl came up, and I'm not kidding, she did this.
Oh.
Oh,
With
wow.
2 broken legs and a sensory disorder, but she still wanted to jam to the music.
Wow.
That was inspiring.
Oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Absolutely.
That was
Wow.
inspiring.
Wow.
That's amazing. Now you're on American Idol.
Yes.
3 times? Am I right?
3 times where I got through 4 rounds, yes. Also,
rounds,
I could
that's-
say so many things about that show. I'm like, not even sure. I'm like, talk, not talk. Like, but yes, it was.
That's still a pretty amazing thing to make.
Oh,
You
it
made
was
it
so
4
fun.
rounds all 3 times?
Yes. And actually, Ryan Seacrest knew I dyed my hair, so that felt really cool.
Yeah, I
I was
remember
like,
you.
don't you know, like, literally everyone? Like,
Yeah.
I'm pretty
Right.
sure you've met, like, 1 million people, and for
Oh,
whatever
absolutely.
reason.
For remembering you, that's spectacular.
Oh, he knew that. He was like, weren't you blonde? I'm like, what? Like, okay.
I was trying to go incognito here.
Right? Hey, it was funny. He was so wonderful, though. I remember because back then when I was doing Christian music, that's a whole thing. That's a stage in itself. But he actually promoted my song. Like,
Nice.
it was really nice. Like, he's a super chill dude.
Yeah.
Although, why does everybody ask if he's short in person? I don't
Ryan
get
I
Seacrest.
it.
don't know.
Yeah, everybody always asks me that, and I still don't get it. I'm like, first of all, why do you care?
Right.
Like, wouldn't you want to know, like, was he cool?
Right. That's what I want to know. Was he cool?
Right? Yeah.
I heard he was real cool. So
Yeah.
He's such a sweetheart.
look, you don't get asked to replace Dick Clark for New Year's Eve unless you're a cool cat. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
You know. I
And
mean,
he's an
that's
all-around
gotta be
businessman.
like
That man
the
has money on
ultimate
money on his
honor
money.
for somebody like him. You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
that's a huge thing.
He's super awesome.
Yeah.
He is. And J-Lo's pretty cool. Steven Tyler, pretty sure his mind has been gone for years.
I can see
He
that.
was like there, but not like there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
He's still cool though.
Like, I actually remember at one point I was like, Steven! And he was like, like okay. Like,
So what is the fourth round? Round.
It's whenever
in
you
there?
get to, like, you meet them, you talk with them, you hang out with them, they decide whether or not they want to put you on the show, or like me, you argue with Randy Jackson for a bit. There's so many things, so many things. But
So you never actually ended up on the final stage.
on the final stage, well, actually, I had gotten the golden ticket and I was all good to go, but I got a concussion in 2017.
Wow.
Would have been.
That and Lionel Richie just needs to be slapped.
Was that
So much.
was
I'm
that
sorry.
was that from your PNES and
Yes, it was. I had a seizure actually at because back then, this was before I realized that, like, I mean, like, because, like, I didn't drink back then, but I didn't even realize, like, how dangerous, I guess, a bar could be for somebody with seizures as I hit the wood floor, like, flat back. And so, because, like, I personally don't drink anymore because I realize it hurts my seizures. That's just for me. But, like, I still have friends. So, like, I'd go get, like, kombucha or something, you know. And so I didn't drink back then. But even so, I remember
Kombucha's
being like,
awesome.
oh, shoot, I didn't realize, like, these hardwood floors are, like, hard. Like, they named them accurately. It's a floor that's very hard, you know.
Right.
You know, so, but yeah, what was I? He was just rude about my seizures. That's what I didn't like about him. And then he kept like cutting
Insensitive.
Katy, and he kept cutting, and he kept cutting Katy Perry off. Like she'd go to talk to me and stuff, and he'd be like, because like he wanted to talk to me, and I would only like at one point I was only looking at her because I just felt like he was like a man looking at a woman in that moment.
Yeah.
And like he wanted the attention, and like he literally like was like leaning on her at one point, like leaning over her, like look at me, and I'm just over here like, do you need my attention that badly, buddy?
Right.
Like aren't you Lionel Richie? Like, cause he was mad, cause like I didn't really know who he was either, so I was like, so he was pretty mad. I was like, I literally said on the show, I'm like, I'm here for Katie, and yeah, Luke was cool. Like he didn't really mind it. He kind of like looked at me like, okay, whatever. Like, but Lionel had an issue, like a severe one. So.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't actually get that very much though. But
No, I'm sure it probably bugged him. But
ego
honestly,
trip.
it's okay because like I told him that all I said was that's out of turn, and he flipped out on me.
Oh my gosh. That's funny.
I was like, dude, you might be famous, but we both take off our pants. To
Yeah,
take a crap."
exactly. That's don't put anybody on a pedestal.
Yeah,
All of our
exactly.
issues.
Like, do you eat food? Cool, so do I. Oh my God, we breathe air. Oh my God, we're breathing the same air.
Exactly.
It's crazy.
So what do you
Imagine
you know
that.
we have somebody asking, you know, what do you think would be like your ideal gig? You know, what
Halftime Super Bowl plus worldwide tour plus getting to tour in Japan over and over and over again because I love Japan.
Oh,
Also getting to be Lady Gaga status where my adorable dogs get to fly from state to state with me. That's pretty good.
Aw. That's awesome.
yeah,
She
the
takes her
Super
little
Bowl
Frenchies.
show would be a big one. That's for sure.
I would like that.
Yeah.
I think I could. In fact, I want to kind of do what Lady Gaga did with the like flying acrobatics, but I want to add fire. Because I can fire throw, and I can do poi.
Cool.
Oh, neat.
So,
very
Nice.
nice.
That's
Very
yeah,
nice.
and I used to be a Patanis. Like, I used to be...
So you're more than a triple threat. You're a serious
Thank
threat.
you.
And if you don't like me, I'm going to burn your house down.
Arsonist only part-time, you know?
I swear it was an accident.
That's why my dog's name is Fire. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually short for Sapphire, which is my birthstone, because my birthday's in
pretty.
September.
Very cool.
Thank you. Hence all the blue.
Well, do you play any other instruments? Or
I dabble in about 20 of them, but I'll tell you I can't play them, and then I'll probably play for you for about an hour, and then you'll probably be like, oh my god, you can play, and then I'll say, no, I can't. And then
Seen you play piano.
I know, but I still can't. Like, in comparison, I can play like an hour of party tricks. Yeah.
you're just ready to try something else.
It's more of like, that's what I've like learned, and then the rest I kind of do by ear. So
Right.
like I can play something for you, but it's gonna be my thingy.
your
Maybe
version
not
of
like,
it.
yeah. Like, I can hear it when I play it.
You've kind of answered the question on what of a lot of hobbies that you have. I mean, it's already been.
Well, actually, it's funny you
Not
should say that. Not
exactly.
exactly.
Well, modeling and all that. What could be hobbies, but that's kind of been your life too, modeling and.
Well, I also do yoga,
Dancing.
and I like to paint. I'm no good at it, but I like to paint. Same thing with drawing. I do write a lot of poetry. I do want to go skydiving. I broke my rib when I was supposed to go skydiving. That was the whole thing. I love hot air ballooning. I love Disney. I really love Disney. Bach towers, being in nature, going to spiritual ceremonies. I love crystals. It's a bunch of stuff.
Very cool. So if you could put together the ultimate all-star band with anyone, dead or alive,
Dead or
and you could be and you could be a part of that band,
Okay.
who would it be? Who would be in that band?
So I said Paramore earlier, but if I get to make it like with multiple people, this is awesome because somehow we're gonna be this dope a cappella group, and I don't know how, and it's gonna have like all different kinds of like music and sounds. But if I could somehow get my hands on Billie Eilish, Hayley Williams, Jessie J, Melanie Martinez. You know what? Screw it. Nora Jones, because I still love her. Maybe, let's see, Kesha, Pink.
That'd be one heck of a group. Man.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wouldn't that be super
That'd be
cool?
crazy.
Like, wouldn't it be awesome to have all those artists working together and singing together?
Yeah.
Like, how
Yeah.
cool would that
Different
be?
combination.
Wow.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, because I can hear Kesha doing like underlays of like talking, like doing words, harmonizing with Pink because Pink has that kind of R&B flavor, and
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
from an R&B background. Fun fact. And then I can hear Jessie J doing the runs and the riffs, while Hayley does like this soulful kind of cry-sounding thing, and then and then Billy's doing and then I just kind of pop out and I just like do stuff over.
See, she's a visual person. Her mind already went there. What everybody's doing, I love it.
Yeah.
That's a girl after
That's
my
super
heart.
cool.
So I see it. I want it. It's so. I
That's
love
awesome.
it.
So I mean, you mentioned Pink, and
Right.
it
Yes.
just so happens that she's part of our show poll this week. So,
I know it's so hard.
well, with that said, I mean, let's find out what happened with the show poll. Very cool. So, yes, our show poll for this week is between who do you think is better, Pink or Christina Aguilera?
Such
Now-
a mean way to put that.
Gotta let you know that we did this specifically for you because you were coming on the show. And we thought,
I mean,
we
that's
thought
awesome,
these
but
artists
also,
would be good.
why can't we be friends? I mean, why does it have to
Yeah.
be better? Like, if their styles are so, like, yes, like, I get
Sure.
it, they get the growly thing going on, but they're so different at the same time.
But they
Right,
also
right.
had like a little feud between them, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, they did actually have a feud between them at
So
one
wait a
point in
minute.
time.
Dang it,
You know,
Pink,
but-
what about us?
They're having a feud on our show.
Yeah, right. So I mean, who do you?
We do
if
this
you
all
had
the
to
time.
pick one, if you had to pick one, I mean, we're not talking about
It's sad
looks
because,
or anything like
okay,
that.
Christina Aguilera, I love her
And
for a
key
different
words,
reason.
better singer. Which
Yeah.
one do you think is
Better singer.
Ah, damn.
If you had to
I mean,
sing one of
sorry.
their songs, who actually do you think would be
Dang.
more of a challenge to do?
Oh, a challenge?
Yeah,
No,
I mean,
neither of them
who's a better
challenge.
singer? You know, I mean, that would be.
But is that weird to say that they're both? Christina.
Yeah.
And then Pink is. Ah, what about us? What about all the times you said you had the answers? I mean, it's just a little more breath in Pink's voice.
Yeah.
Just she sounds more nasally, but not in a bad way. She's just that's her natural
not
vocal
bad at
tone.
all.
I mean, both of them are.
All right, which one is your favorite of the two? I'd probably say
So
Pink if
hard.
I had to guess, considering the fact that you
I don't want to say
mentioned
it,
her
but
a couple times.
okay, so Pink, it's because of who she is, though. Like, she's an advocate in so many ways. She uses her platform to help people. Christina, I feel, has been a little more selfish in her goals, but I also don't personally know her, so I don't know if that's true.
Right.
But I feel like Pink has definitely stood out among the crowd. She's been through a lot more. She's had a lot more street cred. She really had to fight for where she came from. She's been through stuff. She wrote about some real stuff. But then again, Christina, didn't she like also do like Milan? So like, you know, that's pretty cool. Like that's Disney. So but I guess I listen to Pink more than I listen to Christina. I will put it that way. That's what I'll say.
I mean, me personally, you know, I mean, they're both great, but Christina would be my choice as far as who I think is better. I mean, we're not talking about stage show and all that or anything like that.
Well, you gotta remember, Pink has aerial silk.
That's what I thought was cool. When she goes across the audience.
Dynamic, yeah, and she's.
Trapeze
And I know, I think Christina's a mom too, but Pink's been a mom.
Yeah,
for
I was gonna say, yeah, they're both moms.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, they both like I don't know because I understand what you mean vocally. Just because the range on Christina, she has a bigger range.
Right.
So if you're talking about that dynamic.
I mean, that's kind of why I.
Right,
I go
but
with
Christina is very like you know adjust. But here's here's one of the true reasons why I can't get on board fully. All right, real talk. Have you guys ever seen her in the 1990s singing the national anthem? Have you ever seen her version?
I believe I have, actually, yeah.
Her version
been a
before
while.
she forgot. So she like okay, and I don't blame her for that either. I've forgotten too. Listen, that's hard. Like because you get nervous,
talking about.
you're
I
not
wasn't
sure
there.
if it's gleaming or streaming, and it gets switched up all the time, and it's a thing. Okay, but I don't blame her for that. But if she tried to do this like R&B rap style, but her voice wasn't there yet, I think it's because she was so nervous, like because it was like one of her first times out. But I remember being a little kid and going, ew. Click over Dixie Chicks. Their version was cool, but no, I mean, but she's a very talented human being, and she deserves so much credit and respect. And honestly, like, she's, you know, I don't think in any way less talented. You know.
I hear you.
Yeah.
How about you, Dee?
I would say Christina Aguilera, but I like both of them. So all the things you said.
Yeah, I mean, that was a real tough one, to be honest with you. They're both absolutely phenomenal singers. Both of them are. They are such range, and their styles are a little different, but very, very cool. I mean, now, if this was going on showmanship included in that, Pink would win hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Because she goes above and beyond.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as far as like style and everything, I think Pink's got a way cooler style.
Oh yeah.
But
then the
when it
burlesque movie
comes-
that she did, Christina did, was really good too.
That's
I was just
believe it
gonna
or
say,
not, that actually was a
Class.
good movie.
She was
Yeah,
like
good
the
movies.
eloquence or
Yeah,
class.
she was.
So, I mean,
Very much a
when it
close
comes
second.
to the better singer, when I just boiled it down to that, and I think a lot of that goes from the range and everything. I picked Christina for that, but when it for everything else, I probably would have went Pink all the way.
Yeah. No,
You
I
know?
feel you. I feel you. They both are phenomenal.
I mean, I personally like Pink's music better. She's got, I mean, like you're saying, and you were talking about her influences and how that's come out in her
song,
you know,
Perfect,
things that
inspired
she's
me.
been through in life and things like that, how it comes out in her music so much and everything, you know, and she's got this pop rock thing going on, and I dig that a lot, you know. Don't get me wrong, it's not saying I don't like Christina's music. I love it, you know, she's spectacular, but I personally like Pink better overall when it comes to that. But if I had to say which one do I think is the better singer, I'd probably
Go
say
with Christina.
So.
What were the polls?
Well, you know, the poll does close tomorrow afternoon, but here's where we're at right now. We got Christina Aguilera winning at 59% of the votes right now. 59% of the votes.
That's pretty close, man.
Let's see that we got John Greeley from Iced Earth, guitar player, watching us right now. Wonder who he thinks is better, huh?
How you doing, John?
I
When you
don't
coming
think
on
he
the show,
voted
brother?
So very, very cool. So I mean, you know, you're going to want to watch this to see where it lands, but, you know, as of right now, it's looking like Christina Aguilera is going to end up winning this one.
It's a close one. We've had some close ones.
It's all
on the
good.
show.
They're both making money.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? We can say all we want about them. They
Win-win.
both have more money than we do. It don't matter.
Oh, you know, would you want her career or hers? I'll take either one of them. To be honest
Right,
with you.
exactly. You know.
Now
So-
that thing that Pink did, where she was on the side of a building and singing, hanging off the side of a building,
Is incredible.
was super cool. One of the coolest
Incredible.
things I've ever seen. So
We have another question if you want to answer. Well, it's actually
I'd
a
love
couple
to.
questions. It's from Paul. He said, what would be your idea of a ideal date, place, or have you had to overcome physical beauty to get people to pay attention to the person inside of you? Like, you know,
Wow,
guys
that
will look
is
at you and say you're
incredible.
gorgeous,
Thank you,
but
Paul. That is actually
he's asking
incredible.
good
I have
questions tonight.
I'm about to be very real with you guys, honestly, because you guys are being very real with me. So that is a fantastic question. So the answer to the ideal date, support my album. like help me.
You'd already
my heart is
mentioned
through
the
my
national
art.
anthem. You'd
Like
already
get
mentioned
me
the
on
national
tour.
anthem.
Like
Yeah.
my ideal date is like meet you at the halftime Super Bowl that I'm performing at.
right.
Like that would be
Let's have
awesome.
lunch afterwards.
You know, seriously, like that. My ideal date, honestly, would be like somebody really caring enough to understand that this is everything to me. Like, and this is also how I support myself. If you love the being I am, I feed my mouth with the words I sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And this mouth too. And she's so cute and so fiery.
So much.
Thank you. And so yeah, now where the physical beauty thing comes in, that is an incredible question. Incredible, because because you actually asked me this question, because he asked, I'm going to ask or answer directly if that's all right. So, hey Paul, how's it going? The answer is yes. I actually had a friend when I was a little girl. I think I want to say 13. She's the only reason that I have kept my face. I wanted to take a knife, and I was going to take this very large knife at 13, and I was going to scar myself from here to here. That was my plan. Yeah, that was my plan, because I got so tired. I got bullied in school because, like, people don't understand that this is another form of bullying.
Yeah.
People would go, oh, we only keep you around because you're pretty.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
horrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't keep you around because you're cool. Oh, you think you're smart? You're not smart. You're just the pretty one. Look at your boobs.
I have never heard that one.
Yes,
Wow, that's
I'm
awful.
telling you. And people can get very, like, there's been a lot that I've had to deal with that. And I wanted to be known for my wisdom because I was obsessed with this book series. It was by Jean Craighead George, and it's called Julie of the Wolves.
Oh, wow.
And so it's about this girl who is very physically beautiful. She's an Eskimo girl, but she wants to be known for her wisdom. And I admired that because I was totally a reader, still am, and I wanted to be like her. And so back then, I would pray all the time for wisdom, wisdom, wisdom. And I would just get so angry because people would look at me and they'd only want to be like, so, like, you're
like
got
Valley
this?
Girl, like
Yeah.
totally.
Right? And I'm like, hey, did you see that? You know, and it's just, I can be very light, but I can get very deep. And as my recent ex-boyfriend, because we just mutually decided that wasn't we're still friends. You know, he's still performing at my concert on Friday, which you guys should totally come out.
Cool.
But
Where are you
he's
playing
an
at?
ex. Huh?
Where are you playing at on Friday?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. It's Kilos, Kava, and Kratom Bar, and it's going to be my soft debuting of my album before it even gets fully mixed. It's to test the audience. It's already almost completely sold out, but we're begging people, like, we want to pack
Is that in
it.
St. Pete or Tampa?
Safety Harbor.
Oh, Safety Harbor.
Safety
Oh.
Harbor and a little...
Your new job.
Yes, that's right. Is that my new job? Mm-hmm.
What's better, you know, kratom or kava?
Oh, it depends on your body. Yeah, it depends on your flavor, your taste buds, whatever it is that makes you feel good.
I mean, I've had kratom before, but kava I've never tried that.
I drink more kratom than I drink kava, but that's my personal body. That's just my own personal. I mean, you know, not everybody has a pretty strict vegan diet. You know,
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah.
everybody's. You know what I mean? So everybody's different.
So do you take that mainly for pain?
I take it for mental clarity. It helps me stay focused.
So what is that? I know that they got they got red, they got green, they got
yes,
white.
Yes, exactly. And red. like in particular, so like white is like for like mental energy, green is for like a euphoric body high, whereas red is for pain, like you're saying. And yes, there have been many times where I've had a seizure, I was very upset or whatever, and I went over and I drank a ton of red kratom, and it's helped me to go to sleep as well. And it's helped me reduce seizures as well. I've been noticing,
That's
which
awesome.
has been really interesting. Yeah, I've been testing it out.
I bet you're happy about that, huh?
You're not kidding. You're not joking.
I tried the green once, and I liked the feeling of it, but it was, my boyfriend had made it too strong, and I like threw up, and I was like, oh, and I was like hungover like the next day, like felt like so out of it, and that was why it was too strong for me being tiny.
Might have needed a single rather than a double. Just to start.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I'd say we, we're going to play another video.
Yeah, let's step into the
play another
spotlight.
video. So into the spotlight we go.
Still got to fix that video one of these days. It stutters. So we got a couple of videos for you from Zai, and starting off with their first video off of her EP, and we're going to let Zai tell you all about it and introduce it. It's Sunshine.
Thank you. So guys, this song is very exciting to still even be talking about, like, because it's been out now for a year. That's totally like crazy to me. Like I have people that know this song, and it reminds me, I'm like, that's right, I wrote that song. It's very exciting. So it was made with DJ Hurley. He's actually an artist from Switzerland. He's worked with popular acts around here like John Diddy, Foundation. I've actually been on their album as well. I've toured with John Diddy as well. Like,
cool.
I've gone to a gig with them. And
he's a great guitar player too.
oh yeah, he's phenomenal. I've
highly
actually known
impressed.
him my whole life as well, because my father, he used to work for my father. So,
Did he really?
Yeah.
Cool.
I know, right?
Very
Like,
cool.
small world. But that being said, this song is called Sunshine You. It is an acoustic guitar piece, and the reason I wrote it, I was with an ex-boyfriend now who I like really loved, really loved. To the point of toxicity. I should have definitely left this guy. But I was with him on and off for about 2 years. We almost had a kid together. We also like looked for homes together. We were buying a house together. Here's the problem. He never liked to touch me. He wouldn't kiss me. He'd hug me and he'd count.
Was he insane?
I know,
So
right?
sweet. I don't. It was a very unhealthy relationship. He would hug me and he'd count it out. He'd go 1,
What?
2,
Weird.
3.
Wow.
Yeah. So I actually wrote
Intimacy
this song right after we broke up, because I was trying to lay to rest. Like, that's one of the many issues. There's obviously a lot more as to why we broke up, and it's a lot, but I just remember feeling like, gee, like, can you just like let me stay in your arms? Like, what is your problem? Like, you know, like, let me stay in your arms. And so that came to me, and then the entire it's actually the story. It's kind of the story of us. If you listen, everything I'm saying is true. It starts with, I was afraid of thunder and rain, but you knew that from the beginning. Thunder and lightning used to make me seize. I no longer seize from it, but yes,
That's
thunder, not lightning as much, but definitely thunder as a thing. It's just weird. Yeah, the whole thing.
Wow.
So, but all these lyrics, they are written by me. And fun fact about this song, I had never heard it before. And we did it in one take, and then we had like one little entered piece, and that's it, and we never touched it. Yes, so
Cool.
he goes, I have to show you this new piece. And I go, yeah, in the booth. He goes, but I have not shown it to you yet. And I'm like, that's great, in the booth. And sang it, and that's how the song was born.
Very cool.
Spectacular.
This is Sunshine.
Sunshine You.
Sunshine You.
Well, I was afraid of thunder and rain. just plain common sense. Can't get a hold of you. If you gave me a chance, maybe I could explain why I did that dance. But you never knew who I really am. So don't cry, sing lullabies when you're missing me again. Let me stay in your arms, just let me, I ain't doing no harm. I just want to lay here with you. And it seems so complex, it's many, it is just plain common sense. Can't get a hold of you. I can't get a hold of you.
Just love that song, girl.
Really nice. Thank you.
You rock it.
Thank you so much.
Love your dog being in there too.
She's such an angel.
Yeah, spectacular. That's great. Yeah, I've actually heard several of your stuff that you played. You know, I watch you all the time. I always see
You
your
do?
stuff
Oh
popping
my
up.
God, that makes me so
Yeah.
happy. Thank you.
Well, you know, I mentioned your music was why I brought you on here, but that wasn't it. It wasn't all of it, you know, and it was your personality, really. Your
Thank you.
Yeah, I can tell you're a very intelligent person and very down to earth and everything like that. And
Zest for
I just
life. It
knew
just
you
shows.
had this and you got a story to tell and just moved
And
by
you
it
light
all.
up a room.
So,
Those
yeah.
are the best kind of people to hang around with.
Absolutely.
I love it.
I'm couched. Thank
I'm
you.
couched. She's got
So-
the British couch.
We're gonna close out
Even
this.
my purse matches. Like, I'm
know,
so
right?
excited. Like, like, I feel like this is my accessory. Can I just take this with me? Instead of
There's an ottoman in the other room.
my couch.
That's so cool. So we're actually going to close out this show with one of your songs. It's going to be like the last video when our credits scroll at
that's
the end.
awesome.
It's the one with you and DJ Hurley doing an acoustic live set in 102.5 The Bone Studios.
Oh, that one's a good
and
one.
you were on Mo's show with that,
Yes.
and I know Mo. Hello, Mo. What's up, brother?
Mo!
And,
I missed you. Have me back. You already told me you want me back. I don't know why I said that, but have me back. Okay, bye.
miss all those guys over there. Work with them for years and years and years. So, but I thought that song was super, super cool. So,
Thank you.
We're gonna
I
say,
wrote that the night before.
yeah, I saw that, and that was just like, wow, really? I mean, that just blew my mind. I
Yeah.
loved what Mo said too. It's like that it was gonna suck, but
Yeah, I know. He's like that was definitely supposed to, but okay, great.
I mean, when you write it the night before, you know, that's pretty spectacular.
I was in my feelings. I was pulling a Drake. I was in my feelings.
What's the name of the song?
Funny story that. So it was originally called Jacob. I instantly regretted it because then Mo like dogged me with questions about Jacob, who's sitting in the car listening, and I was like, like I've done wrong. So immediately tried to change it. I think I called it in the end. It's called Don't Miss.
Cool.
Yeah, Don't Miss.
Have you recorded that and put that on any of your stuff?
Not yet, actually. DJ Hurley and I, he's been busy on his own album. He just got back from Switzerland as well. But I mean, when you hear this new album, like when it's fully done.
Yeah. Well, I've heard
See, this is fun. I mean, we get to we get to
Fantastic.
watch from where you're at now. Now we're going to be following you. We're going to see your career go up, up, and up, and up.
Yeah.
So
If it doesn't, somebody out there is missing out. That's all I got to say about that.
so where can they see you? I mean, what can they tune into? Facebook. What do we got? Where can they follow you?
So it's Zai Entertainer across the whole board. So just ZAI Entertainer. So that would be awesome. I really would appreciate that because, the concert, I think that I would really want everybody to come to. Like, please, this would be so awesome.
It's Super Bowl halftime.
Super Bowl halftime! Oh my God,
Next
yes,
year,
that's
be
like
there.
totally right up there. Is Kilo's Kava Bar. Again, it's this Friday. It's from 7 to 11. And it's not just me. Like, my very, very good friend, we call each other Mermaid Sisters from Other Misters. She's total doll. She's actually a Sports Illustrated model, and her book that went national as a kid just got bought by Universal Studios.
Wow,
And
that's
she's
awesome.
performing because she's also one of those multiple threat kind of girls, and she's going to be performing her EDM tracks there.
And what is her name?
Her name is Gloria Tesh.
What time's all this kicking off?
7 p.m., 7 to 11. So I'll be at the end. Clear Track Studios, all of them, they're going to be there.
Nice.
Yeah, super excited. They actually, Spencer, moved his calendar over for me.
Aw.
Nice.
It was
There you
so
go.
nice.
So
And so did
cool.
Colleen, and she's, making t-shirts and stuff. It's just, they're such good people. I'm going to, cry, sorry. If you ever need an album, seriously, done at all, go to Clear Track Studios. They are the best people. It's not just, their quality of equipment, which by the way, it's beautiful
Top
and the
notch,
best you
yeah.
can get. Yeah, especially
Great
this area.
studio.
And they have amazing names there from John Legend to ZZ Top and more. But the people there are just phenomenal. You definitely want to work with
I've
them.
worked with James Forbes out there. It's an awesome place. I mean, maybe moving forward, maybe we will go out there and talk to them a little bit and maybe get a little behind the scenes as to what you're doing over there too. It'd be fun.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's a little hush hush right now, but soon.
Okay, so
Very
just
soon.
mute everything I just said. So, next show, we're hoping to have a very special guest, and that'd be Jeff Scott Soto, singer from Yngwie Malmsteen, TSO. You'll be in town next week. The unfortunate
With Gary
thing
Shutt.
is, yeah, with Gary Shutt.
Opening up for him.
Unfortunately, we're not going to find out until last minute whether or not he can do the show.
Yeah.
It's going to be one of those things. So it's going to be either a surprise he's playing or surprise he's not. But with him, we may end up going to him at some point if we can't get him on the show right away.
And if we can get him on the show or even an interview with him or anything, it's all because of Gary helping us out.
Absolutely.
So we definitely appreciate you even trying, Gary. Thanks so much for being a good friend.
So, other than that, we got on the 26th, singer-guitarist Chris McCarty. He will be in the studio with us, and he's going to be performing live. You're not going to want to miss that.
No, not
this
at all.
guy's awesome, awesome singer, awesome guitar player. It's going to be good.
He would be really something cool for you to do. Somebody that would be really cool for you to work with and do
Really?
a couple
Yep.
songs.
Yeah?
Oh yeah. Chris is really, really good. He's really good. He's a great guitar
Alright.
player,
Maybe we
great
can get you
singer.
both in here.
That sounds like
He was
fun.
on
By
tour
then, I
with
think
the
my album will be
country
done.
singer. at some
Yeah,
point.
he's done. He just recently has been touring around the United States and stuff.
Sweet, that's what I'm on my way to
he's
do next.
fantastic. He
I
comes
just got
in
back
here
from
all the
tour
time.
last year from 27 states.
He live streams on Facebook Wednesday nights here in the studio, as a matter of fact. So
Wow, that's
yeah,
super awesome.
yeah. I end up running that for him most of the time.
So that's
But he's a great guy and just really killer. He plays in Dunedin all the time. You're in Dunedin at.
I'm trying to think if I've seen him somewhere.
Trying to think of where, and I can't remember the name of the place off the top of my head, but brain's not what it used to be.
If he's a guitarist, I almost want to think Sterling Lion. Maybe. Pisces.
It's right
Lanu,
downtown.
Cafe Al Fresco, Blur,
No, it's none of those.
Chickaboom Room.
That's it.
Maybe Chickaboom, yeah. a lot
There
of
you go.
people play
Sunday
there.
nights.
There
He's
we go.
usually there. Yep.
so. I mean, there's so many things we could talk about. I mean, I definitely definitely want
this
to
could go
follow
on
you
and on.
as we go, and just we'll stay in touch and hopefully have you
Awesome.
on the show again.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Thank
When you
you for
release
having
your
me.
CD, it would be awesome if you came back into the studio
I would love
and we
that.
had some more stuff to play, and even better if you could actually perform here in the studio for us.
I would love
If
that.
you would love
Grab
I
an
would
acoustic guitar
absolutely
player.
love that. Yes, I volunteer as tribute. That'd be great.
Fantastic. So,
I definitely want to, you know, we got to throw props out to the Bakemore Pie studio. Without
Always.
them, this couldn't even be. So the Chords, you know, love you. Thank you for all that you've done for us, and you know, music show. You know,
if
it's
it weren't
awesome.
for them, we wouldn't even have been live the last 2 times.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, which is
So-
spectacular. So thank
Hey,
you so much for everything all the
One
time.
more
So,
thing, Paul was
really.
saying that he's going to research your music and that you have a new fan. So I just want to let you know that before we close it out.
Please tell him I
Very
said
cool.
thank you
Very
so
cool.
much.
Okay.
So, as I said, you know, in the scrolling credits, we're going to play her song, the acoustic one that she did live in the studio from 102.5 The Bone. And be sure to visit our website at thesoundeffectsshow.com, where you can see previous shows. You can find out what's coming up on the show calendar. You'll have information on there, and you know, as soon as we know about it, it'll be online, and find out exactly whether Jeff Scott Soto is going to be in studio with us or not, or what's going to be going on in that show anyway. Be sure to check out all our social media pages and visit those, and add us, like us, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thank you so much to everybody for watching. Zai,
Thanks again, Zai.
can't
for
thank
for
you
being
enough
on the show.
for
It was
being
incredible.
here tonight. Thank you so much for coming in here, and your wonderful dog as well.
Isn't she
Fire
awesome?
is
Like,
awesome.
she's literally
so
been
good.
chilling the whole time.
She's the best. That was
thank you.
spectacular.
Thank you. I just want everyone to know how great she is. Like, I feel like she deserves so much love.
Yeah.
Like, she's just
Aw.
such a good girl. So good.
So thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we will see you on our next show. Have a great night.
Who knew that this could be here? I thought you were gone forever, my dear, and I lie close to you, and I'm fading in your bed. Your words are locked inside my head. Yeah. Who knew that this could be here? I thought you were gone forever, my dear, and I lie close to you, and I'm fading in your bed. Your words are locked inside my head. Fly with me. I knew it from the first, you're my destiny. And now I see everything I never saw before. I want more. I want more. Ba-da-da-da-da-dum-da-da-da-dum-da-da. I want more. Yes. If this is my only first, let it wipe away all of the other hurts. 'Cause you were always there, and you've always showed you care. But I kept looking away. So won't you me. I need you to finally see you're my destiny. There's a reason why all of the other guys never made